Random with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you're out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Caneswear today.
Well, hello and good morning. Happy New Year's Eve, Miami Dolphin fans. Welcome to another edition of the Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I'm Bobby Fins Talk, joined by the one and only FinStanza Posner, who is dressed up for the occasion, and the one and only Brett Lagasse. Brett, what's up, brother?
What's up? 2 weeks in a row. This is awesome.
I'm saying,
So
wow.
excited.
You must really love us. God bless you.
Oh, of course.
FinStanza, besides going off there in the background at the kid and how the hell are you doing?
Me? I feel great now that the peer pressure and the weight of my shoulders is lifted off now that you guys had throw it in my face that I did not buy my Jason Sanders jersey.
Wait a second. That's right. That is right. Dolphin fans, breaking news. FinStanza has done it. He has purchased a Jason Sanders jersey.
Who would have thought that I'd have a Jason Sanders jersey before I would have a Tyreek jersey or a Bradley Chubb jersey?
I don't buy jerseys. After the Dante Culpepper incident and the Ted Ginn, Chad Henne, oh, God. I can't wait Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas still, but yeah. I stopped.
It's just fun. But no.
Will join us for postgame tonight, FinStanza.
Oh, great. Based on our hour, I think Brett will come back too, because Brett, we're going to be doing it at a later hour. So
he will. He will. Yeah, Brett said he will be on. So we'll have Brett, Courtney, FinStanza, and myself will be here post-game tonight, celebrating a Miami Dolphins win. I'm speaking into existence, folks. I'm speaking it into existence. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Honestly, I can't watch my Buckeyes lose to Harbaugh just to watch my Dolphins again lose to Harbaugh. All right. I'm so tired of Ryan Day, so that's a whole other thing, that vanilla nonsense. So I'm tired of seeing him lose to Harbaugh. I don't want to watch my Dolphins lose again.
Can you just, by the way, on a side note, can you believe, I think Georgia is a little mad that they didn't make the playoff. I think they told Florida State, like, you guys don't belong in the playoffs.
And all the people say, they're pretty much saying, oh, Florida State, cry me a freaking river. Dude. Like, yeah. Well, like, no. Georgia's like, yeah.
I'd be sober. We shall find out.
Yeah,
I think that they should have been in the playoffs. That was stupid. Either expand the playoffs or get
next year. They're expanding it, right? So
yeah, they have to. It's the best way to do it.
So, why we're here today, obviously, talking Dolphins. It's week 17 now. We're at the final stretch. Obviously, the last 2 games of the season, and my goodness, what 2 games we have left? 3 games we've had in Miami now. Mm-hmm. Beat the Cowboys last week. This week they got Baltimore. Next week they got Buffalo. But 1 game at a time. This week it's basically the fight for the number 1 seed. If Miami could win this, they clinch the East. And they could hopefully, and obviously next week, they could secure the number 1 seed. But here's to get that lead. Miami Dolphins 11-4 versus the Baltimore Ravens, who are 12-3. Tua in his career against Baltimore is 2-0. Lamar 1-2 in his career against Miami. Good morning, Steve Malloy. Steve Malloy in the house.
Wait, did we count that game? Does he get credit for that win? He came in when we had the lead.
You're talking about that night game? You're talking about that night game with
night game? He got the credit for that? No, either way, he's still.
Oh, wait, I'm surprised.
He's not played in a game about that game.
The weird part about that game was that Tua.
I think when you come in, it doesn't count. It's when you start from the beginning.
I think it does count because he came in the first half. He didn't come in the second half.
That might be true, yeah. So that might be
after X period.
Yeah,
the weird part about that game.
Hold on. Let me just. I want to say because I see Steve here. Steve had some. First off, he was on pregame earlier, and I will say after everything he was saying, I will say this. This is my take on what he was talking about with injuries and everything, and Tua having to step up. I agree. No excuses. Fins for the win. Doesn't matter how many injuries you have. Dolphins got to win this football game. I don't want to hear after the game, oh, the offensive line was banged up. Oh, the offensive line has been banged up all season. all season. We haven't had our starting left tackle all season. He's been in and out. And I know, and I'm trying to remember exactly who had said this. But it was Barry Jackson. And of course, our draft shows are going to come up after the season, after the postseason, because we'll be there. The Barry Jackson reported that the Dolphins are exploring and considering drafting Terron Armstead's eventual replacement in the draft. So that's here and there. Obviously, that has to be the case because he hasn't been here. How much can you rely on him? But no excuses. Another thing, and I love having both. I know.
How could you predict such a thing?
I want to ask both of you guys this because again, credit to Steve Malloy, host of Real Talk Fins Talk and co-host for the pregame show on Dolphins Thirsty. But on Real Talk Fins Talk this week, he asked an amazing question, and I asked it yesterday to Courtney on Fins Talk today. And I'm going to start with asking you, Brett, and then I'll have Evan follow up. With the injuries that Miami has, even though, and they secured the playoffs, and I'm paraphrasing here. It's not an exact question, but it is what it is. Steve could post the exact question there. But should the Dolphins consider, since they already clinched the playoffs, should they consider resting players in the final two games so that way they could be 100% healthy in the playoff run?
No, because I'm not going on the road against Cleveland. If they get a home game, I'm not going on I don't want to go against the road against Baltimore. Do I want to go against the road against Buffalo? Do you want to go in January against Buffalo on the road? Do you want to go Baltimore? Do you want to go any of those teams on the road? Even the Bengals for whatever reason, however that may shake out. No, I'm good. I'm not resting them. You're not in that situation now. Guys who are too risky to play, like Mostert, yes, I'm resting them. Waddle, I'm resting them. Why? Because I'm not risking losing them for the playoffs. But it's not like resting guys like, okay, Hunt and Jackson, no, it's going to be, I'm not playing it safe. But for guys who are probably shouldn't play, yeah, you're not going to play. But I mean, that's not really resting guys. That's guys really, honestly, Mostert can't really go. And that whole injury because of Armstead couldn't get out there fast enough. And that's guys I'm not playing. Other than that, banged up play. I'm not resting anybody. The whole thing with Hunt, I think they've been playing it safe, and I think they've been playing a little bit too safe through the season too at the same time. So
I want to respond very quick. Great point. Utah's Fins fan, thank you for tuning in. Man, I would love for you to tune in to our draft shows. We do that every year. We love talking about that. But I will say, any pick is a crapshoot in the draft. Even Deion Jordan, you traded up. It happens. Jake Long, the number 1 overall pick. Sometimes the best pick, in my opinion, because you take that pressure off, you go best player available at that point. You're not kind of forcing a hand, and Brett could speak to this, forcing a hand and getting the best player, even though he may not really be the best player. Is that 28 to 32 area, or even maybe second or third round, because that way you're going after the best player available who's easy to coach, easy to develop.
Right.
So
you're hoping an idiot GM takes a guy like Charles Harris over like a TJ Watt, and then a TJ Watt falls right in your lap. That's kind of what you hope for, or you pass up on like Justin Jefferson.
Who did take over Derwin James?
Minka Fitzpatrick, who's crying now in Pittsburgh. So or a guy who takes I don't know, takes Austin Jackson over like Justin Jefferson. You want to make sure you're picking the best player available, and if that's a left tackle, great. But you want to go impact players, honestly. First round, I'm not.
True, and again, that's why I'm saying I would not assume. I would not assume it's a first round pick. It might be a second, third round pick. Miami, you might use that first round pick on a defensive tackle. They might use it on a linebacker. Yeah.
My biggest concern is with the offensive line, Greer has zero feel in the draft for it. I know I just took shots there. He has zero feel for it. That's what scares me because he went with Austin Jackson, and that was a very high reach. He was a second-round grade for a lot of us, and he was a project. And then getting
what's up, Scotty?
with the tackle run, he traded up for Eichenberg, and Creed Humphrey went a few picks later. Like, I'd have just taken Creed Humphrey. Now, like, a couple of us are banging the table for Creed Humphrey. Imagine him at center for us, So there's a lot of things, like, your hope. Like, I have no faith that they'll get that pick right over Armstead, and I said it when we signed Armstead that we need to have a replacement ready now, and we didn't. And look what's happening. You can't rely on him. What has he played? 13 games last year. So,
but I'm with Scott. I'm all about, strengthening the trenches on the offensive defensive side of the ball. So I'm with Scotty. If there's a left tackle that's worth taking in the first round, you go get him. And there's some good ones this season. There's some good ones.
He needs to be damn good. If not, I'm taking playmakers. I'm taking difference makers. I'm taking pass.
And don't hold your breath if Miami doesn't go receiver either.
Or
just
center.
saying.
Or center.
Well, center for sure. If they don't, yeah.
But can I just put it out there?
Go ahead.
We know how he feels about Greer. But can you give me your assessment just so we can get it out of the way so everyone understands it? Because you're hard on Greer. Do you have the same concerns with his cohorts, and McKenzie and Allen? Do you not see them as good at talent evaluators?
Well, McKenzie's.
I'm asking you
because I've actually spoke with his brother, McKenzie's brother, Raleigh, a couple times. He's a nice guy. They're good guys. They've played in the NFL. They're smart guys. I wouldn't want Reggie McKenzie calling the shots. Now, Allen, I think, is a smart guy. He came from Kansas City. He worked with the Bills front office when they drafted Josh Allen. So he's worked with some smart front offices now. He's played in the NFL. I think the weak points of Greer has been offensive line, linebacker, 100%. He's done a good job of finding free agents and draft or trading for like impact players. He couldn't screw up the 2021 draft. In 2021, you can't screw up a receiver there. You had Pitts, Chase, Smith, Waddle. Throw a rock, flip a coin. I didn't care. As long as you got one of those four, you had a playmaker, right? So, and Waddle was better than Smith. I liked Smith a little better for certain reasons, but I liked Waddle in a different role, so it was fine there. That's like a splitting hairs. So I like Chase the best in that draft class, and he's showing why. But
not playing today, I don't think.
I just worry that they value the wrong positions. But I feel like the last two drafts, McDaniel has pushed certain ways of doing things, and the trade for Chubb was McDaniel. The drafting of Achane, McDaniel wanted him in the second round. They went and got Cam Smith. Which one's making a difference? Cam Smith is a project. Greer drafts so many projects. We need players now, and players that can play, make an impact more immediately. Not every draft pick will, but you need to find at least one or two from the draft that can. And McDaniel is finding guys. McDaniel is doing a better job of finding guys. Izukama had a role, had some talent, but that neck issue, I don't know how long he's going to last, and that was a red flag they must have missed or something. We'll see if he comes back at all, but
so
we'll see. I like the direction McDaniel's pushing the front office.
By the way, I want to bring up one point about the offensive line and drafting. Do you know who the starting center is for the Baltimore Ravens? It's the guy we all liked in the draft, Lindenbaum.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's a starting center first year out.
Well, like the Eagles,
Baltimore is.
The Eagles going to go from Jason Kelce to Cam Jurgens, and that just kind of ticks me off.
My point, Bobby, was that there's an ability midway through a draft to find an impact player that starts for your team day one.
100%. So Utah Fins fan, thank you for getting us on this discussion.
I'll be on the draft shows, don't you worry. I haven't been doing film evals, but I'll jump into what we should look at.
We're going to the senior. Bobby's treating us all to the Senior Bowl.
You son of, stop putting words and things in the universe.
It's an experience.
We should all go.
I looked into that, but it was, I think the what do you call the media thing was closed up or whatever it was. But
right.
I'm just talking. It's all
good. Go 1 year.
We will. No, for sure. We've been talking about it. We're going to do it. And maybe the scouting combine would be fun. Because that's, we'll talk about that. But anyway, getting back to this game, because we're talking about the draft. And of course, we love talking the draft. So Utah's Fin fan, thank you for bringing it up. Because the great thing about what we do here, obviously, for everyone who tunes in, and I think Scotty was with us in the comments watching during the draft season. But, we do everything on the Fins Talk Sports Network, every sport, everything we can. but the draft is one of the shows we love to talk about and have
Scotty's
on. Yeah,
come
exactly.
on the draft.
Yeah.
Scotty's gonna come on
Hey,
this year.
I'm down. Bring Scotty on, man. Scotty's been on
maybe
for,
we'll
watching for a while.
We'll give him a form. We'll give him an hour or two. We go all day, right? We go all 7 rounds all day, all day.
We do. We're on for 3 hours a day during the draft, But anywho, back to this game because the Dolphins again have clinched the playoffs, and now they're trying to fight for that number 1 seed. They got to go against Baltimore. So Joe Shad had a great question on here, and that goes for the breaking news that Raheem Mostert broke last night, like I believe at midnight, was that Raheem Mostert was not expected to play. It says today there was another – Adam Schefter came out and confirmed it, said he will not play due to some ankle injury. So who's going to have the most rushing yards today? Will it be Jeff Wilson or Devon Achane?
Achane all day. In terms of actual – I think Jeff Wilson will have the more impact yards, but I think that Achane will get the more yards overall because he'll get more of the extended runs. He'll be able to get you 10-plus yards on certain carries. Wilson's going to be to get you the chunk yards up the middle. He'll get you your 3, 4, 5 yards at a time, but he won't get the big runs. Like Achane, I think will get a big run out here today in space.
So looking at this here,
we'll let Brett answer.
I think Wilson's going to get the most carries. I think they're going to use Achane quite a bit, but I think Wilson's probably going to have the most carries, the most touches, but I think he's going to have the most yards. Wilson's playing pretty pissed off. I actually liked the Wilson I saw at the end of the Dallas game. I haven't been like a huge proponent of Wilson just because he's not a bad running back, but like he got replaced in San Francisco by a receiver for a reason, and then Elijah Mitchell, and then he was traded to Miami. There's a reason, and it's not like he's a terrible running back. He's a serviceable running back, and he fits the system. Which, hello, people, the system makes running backs better that fit. Mostert fits this system. He's had a fantastic year, but don't forget that the system's above the players in this one. So, in this run system, Wilson fits perfect, and he gives you more inside zone. Chris Brooks needs to be on the field as a blocker mainly, but the dude is the nastiest blocker we have in space against linebackers. He will take somebody's head off. He decleats people, and you need this against Baltimore, and you need him against these linebackers. He will decleat these linebackers and open up space for the running backs, especially to the outside. But yeah, this is I think this is Jeff Wilson's game, and Achane does run up the middle better than Mostert does. I like Mostert. He does fine up the middle, but Achane is better in the middle. He's shiftier, and Wilson's shiftier. So we definitely are going to see more inside zone today.
Yeah, and I don't be surprised too. I know, and I'm not. I could see Achane being used a lot more than Wilson, but in the sense of the offense, not more in the sense of the running. I could be seeing Achane spread out to the right side, especially with Waddle being out. You might see Achane more at receiver, running, but also at receiver, where Wilson and Brooks might be more at behind quarterback, running the ball, especially in that red zone, first and third down offense. But we'll see. It's going to be a huge game for all three of those guys, especially Achane. We know what Achane can do. We know what he can do. He's explosive. 8 yards per carry. I mean, this is his game. This is a game to show off what he can do, especially against that defense. I'm talking about that.
Tackles.
Absolutely. The Miami Dolphins are 4-3 on the road. The Baltimore Ravens 5-2. The Baltimore Ravens are averaging about 27.8 points a game and allowing 16 points a game. Dolphins 31 points a game. They are scoring. That's their average, and giving up 21 points a game. Dolphins are number 1 offense in the NFL. Baltimore, the 5th best offense. And the defense for Baltimore, they are ranked 6th in the NFL, where Miami now has jumped to the 4th best defense in football. The Ravens have won 5 in a row. They've beaten San Francisco 33-19, Jacksonville 23-7, Rams 37-31, Chargers 20-10, and Cincinnati 34-20. Miami, of course, has beaten Dallas last week. They beat the Jets the week before 30-0. They lost to Tennessee 28-27. Beat Washington 45-15. Jets 34-13. Of course, the Baltimore against San Francisco, that was a huge win and really put Baltimore on the map as a serious contender. This win, if Miami pulls off today, and beats Baltimore, this win right here will put Miami on the map for serious contender. Because as crazy as it seems, obviously, Miami beating Dallas last week, which I think was huge for Miami and huge. That should have been more recognized around the league. Did not put Miami on the map. People still have questions. They still have questions. But if Miami can come into this game with Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert out, with the offensive line banged up, which who is it? They come into this game and they win. People have to give them the flowers. You got to. This is a win that puts a team on the map. Evan, right or wrong?
Yeah, 100%. But the Dolphins have proven a lot to us, but there's still more to prove to the narrative. But that's not their goal. Their goal is to really just continue to win football games. Because why would you want to make your path more difficult? And when it comes to Raheem Mostert, people are very concerned about him not playing. If he's injured, and Mike McDaniel sort of partly to blame for this, only in the sense that during his press conference on Friday, he said that Raheem Mostert doesn't practice very often, so he didn't really play up that he was being overly cautious with him about it. He just made like he just doesn't practice a lot, sort of like Teron Armstead. Waddle we knew wasn't going to play, but of all the positions right now, in terms of this particular game, in terms of depth and what we need to be successful in this game, if I had a choice between having a healthy Austin Jackson at right tackle and a Javon Holland at safety, or losing those two and having Raheem Mostert and Jalen Waddle, like I feel Austin Jackson and Javon Holland are more critical to winning this football game than Raheem Mostert and Jalen Waddle, because Tyreek Hill can do things on his own. You have Chase Claypool in a game like this. You have Robbie Chosen. You have Braxton Berrios. You have weapons. You have Devon Achane. You have Jeff Wilson. You have Chris Brooks. As a center fielder, even though Deshaun Elliott is doing the best he can and Brandon Jones is Javon Holland is the best player in that safety position. You need him there in a game like this to be able to make Lamar Jackson think, because Javon Holland can play him. He can actually play him pretty well, I think. So overall, and I like Kendall Lamb, but also, you know what? The way that I want Kendall Lamb to be available as a swing tackle, if something happens, if Austin Jackson's able to play, I want him to play. Mm-hmm. Overall, the goal of this game is for me is how Mike McDaniel calls this game for Tua and balances the attack there, and doesn't pull a Dan Campbell. Be smart and take the points. Don't do what they did. We'll talk about that during the NFL review. And then Vic Fangio, because the one concern I have, and I'll let you guys answer this, I want to defer to the second half. I really want to, so we get the ball. But every time the Kansas City Chiefs, we've deferred against good teams like Kansas City, like Dallas, like the Eagles. When we defer, we are like a war. I don't know what happens to the defense, but they're not ready to play yet. And we lose time. We lose 6-7 minutes of a game. They go down. Hey, Bobby, we were at the game. We were at the Carolina game where we kicked off, and next thing you know, it was 14-0. And why? Because Carolina got the ball and they went right down the field. The defense takes a little bit of time to start. And on a game like this, I need the defense to get out of there quickly and give the ball back. I do not want to see points from the Ravens on the first drive. If they put up 7 on the first drive and we defer, that will be concerning for me. But in turn, if we lose, Tua has to put up points on the first drive. I don't want to. That for me is the key dictator of how the game is going to go. Does the defense stop the Ravens on the first drive if they get the ball, or do the Dolphins score if they have the ball? That for me is going to be a dictation on how Mike McDaniel and Vic Fangio has their team prepared to start this football game. Because if you look at the games against the Lions and the Seahawks when they went into M&T Bank Stadium, they got slaughtered in the first quarter, and I mean slaughtered. The game was over before he even blinked. You cannot let the Ravens get to a big lead because they only give up 16 points a game. So you cannot let them dictate the course of the game right from the onset.
Brett, what do you think?
I agree with that. Don't get behind early. Don't put yourself in a situation to get behind early. Defense is going to have to obviously play way better than they did the early part of the Baltimore game last year, because Baltimore just stuck it to us last year, punched in the mouth, and just shoved the ball down our throats. And then they let off the gas enough to where the Dolphins were able to come back, and their secondary, it was the defense, like the Chiefs ran against us with the lead where they were kind of playing back a little bit. McDaniel is very good about feeling defenses out. It's very subtle. No one talks about it, but McDaniel knows what to call and has plays to attack a defense when they're playing from behind to allow the Dolphins to climb back into games, which is a big reason Dolphins don't get blown out too often or are able to scrap back. So with that said, I think the Dolphins just can't get behind early. They have to get out, get ahead, take advantage of what the defense is giving them. Last week, Tua's footwork was very sloppy. He wasn't seeing what was there, what was given to him from Dallas when Dallas switched to two high safety. There was a lot of open looks. The week before he took it, he gave it to Smythe and all. And then that drive he had where he was just dinking and dunking to Smythe and taking that, I need that on a regular basis. I need a Tom Brady type game. And I don't mean the Tom Brady 2007 putting up lavish numbers. I mean the games where it's just fine. You want to play back? I'm just going to pick you apart. You want to widen your linebackers with Tyreek going out wide, running backs going out wide. You want to fine. I'm going to get Etienne out wide and fake screens, and I'm going to throw it to tight ends and running backs over the middle and receivers over the middle. And we're going to dig a duck. Yeah, it's going to take us, 15 play drives to score, but we're going to sustain drives. That's what I want to see. Dink and dunk, run. Meet their physicality. Do not get intimidated by them. Tired of seeing the Dolphins get intimidated by teams like that. So I don't think that's going to be the case. But get physical back and take what the defense is giving. Tua's got to stop looking for that deep play. Just relax. It's going to come. It's going to be there. Take what the defense is giving. He's starting to do that a little more. He didn't do it too much against Dallas, but he did it in two crucial drives. And he just has to take what is given. And then we need to see the physicality up front, which I'm hoping with Waddle out, we see Claypool get a lot more play, a lot more run up front. I see a lot more Brooks and Wilson. Just get that physicality in goal. Just get the physicality, get it early. And is also Jackson playing?
Yes, he's supposed to be playing, but we're going to get the.
Well, he's active.
Yeah, he should be playing. He's supposed to be playing. But just to give you guys an update, we're supposed to get the inactives in a moment. Just want to give you some breaking news, and I'll let Brett explain the effect it has. Is that Kyle Hamilton has been ruled out, according to Adam Schefter, out of today's game.
Huge.
How did that affect the Miami Dolphins?
Awesome. They give up like a 60 or 70 rating with Kyle Hamilton on the field. Without him on the field, they give up like a 120 passer rating. The reason is Kyle Hamilton lined up at defensive end, at D tackle, at safety, at linebacker, at corner. He did everything that Minkah Fitzpatrick refuses to do. He played everywhere. They moved him around. He's a chess piece to worry about. He is a fantastic player. He's an instinctive player. Actually, in fact, Josh Wingate and I broke his play down with a good friend of ours, Corey Williams, friend of the network, played safety. And that's going to be a huge plus for the Dolphins.
And here is the Dolphins update. Go ahead,
so
Finstanza.
The inactives are, as we know, Skylar Thompson's emergency. So we know, as expected, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Rob Hunt, Tyler Croft, Emmanuel Ogba. All expected.
Agba reacted to that earlier. Agba went
2 weeks in a row.
They think Melvin Ingram is a more that basically tells you they need what. Let me, Brett or Bobby, why do you think they're choosing to play Melvin Ingram over Emmanuel Ogba? Why do you think that would be the case, Brett?
Well, why? Oh,
why would you play? Would you play Melvin Ingram? Would you have Melvin Ingram active over Emmanuel Ogba?
Yeah. Well, because Ogba plays better. He's more, or Ingram plays better. He's a little bit more physical, a little bit better against the run, a little bit more athletic in space. Could play a little bit more stand-up linebacker than Ogba. But if I have to choose between, they're doing it based on speed too. So they still want to keep their linebackers on the field. So they're going to have to move. They're going to have to deactivate Ogba and only keep one of their outside linebackers, rushers, and all. So, and you still have Van Ginkel. Don't forget. So, yeah, that's so basically you have Ingram and Van Ginkel, and instead of Ogba, and Ingram offers a little bit more physicality, a little bit better at linebacker and can stand up. So he offers you more flexibility and more versatility. So that's why they're going that route. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case against the Bills, but that'll definitely help it with the speed.
So let me ask you this, and Evan, I'll start with you, and Brett, you can follow up on this one because obviously now confirmed. We already knew, but Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert now confirmed that they are out of this game. So Finstanza, which will have a greater impact in your opinion, Waddle or Mostert being out? Which will have a greater impact on this offense?
Waddle, only because Waddle in a game like this, I think Tua wants to go, and McDaniel really would like to go to his playmakers. And I don't think he's still a little unsure on Claypool, on Wilson. Like when he tried, I feel like every time he's forced himself to go to Wilson, it's on these weird plays that just are very tough catches. It's not simple. It's a little more overly complicated. Waddle makes things look a little easier and just a better overall athlete, I find. I do think that at the onset, because the running game for me, I trust the running game right now with A-Chain, Mostert, and Wilson, with Brooks, Wilson, and A-Chain in this game more than I trust the second and third options, because they haven't proven anything yet to me. Wilson has not proven he's a number 2. Claypool, we haven't seen. Chosen, we haven't seen enough of. Berrios has been quiet. Smythe, they're utilizing a little bit more. Waddle, we know we're getting out of. We've seen A-Chain have big games. We've seen Wilson get us important yards. Brooks is a guy, a great blocker. Like, though, I feel like running game is less of a concern for me. It's more who is going to be that second option for Tua that he's going to go to when he doesn't look at Tyreek. That for me is more concerning. Also, last game he had a big game. When we came back in that game last year, in the second game of the year, Waddle was just as important as Hill. Just as important.
I will say, first off, I want to thank everyone who's watching right now. You're watching the Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Michael Myers, Scotty, Dolphins Thirsty, Ravens for life. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. He says Mozart, because teams can run on us. And that's something I said yesterday and I appreciate that comment yesterday on Fins Talk Today. For me, it would be Mozart, because you have to out physical Baltimore, and running the ball is very important. Baltimore is a very strong team. They struggle against very little in the NFL, but they do. You have to run against them. They do struggle with stopping the run, and Mozart will help that. I think with Mozart being out, could force Miami, or help give Miami an excuse, by Miami I mean Coach McDaniel, the excuse to forego the run, where he says, hey, we don't have Mozart, we're not at full strength. Let's focus on getting that ball to Tyreek, forcing it to Tyreek, and so forth. I would hope that he would say, no, let me go ahead and trust H-N, let me go ahead and trust Jeff Wilson and get it going.
Bobby, can you respond to this? He's really trolling us today.
Chopped liver over here.
No, because he feels that we cheated. I go, he never asked to come on. He's welcome on the post game show. I thought we'd be breaking his heart if he thought we can't. I thought there's an exclusivity there.
No, Manny.
Now that's true. There,
Manny,
he
man
is the touchdown leader. Sorry to cut that off.
No, it is, and it's huge. It's a huge. That's why people. You see, it's like I don't think enough people give Raheem Mozart credit for the first off the year that he's having, but also the impact the impact he has on this offense. That and he obviously has. I think he has an ear that maybe Tua might have, or Tyreek, but he has as much say on what's going on in our offense than most people will. He has that relationship with Mike McDaniel where he can call McDaniel out without starting a rift. It's going to be huge, and I hope that he could give enough quote unquote encouraging words or whatever you want to call it to push H-N to have himself a career game today, or a game changing game. But it is going to be a huge loss. So I have him in fantasy. It sucks.
Can I ask a question?
Real quick.
You can answer, but I'll ask you another question.
Hold on, real quick, Evan. Stevens is out as well.
Yeah, Stevens. Okay, Hamilton.
So
I'll tell you.
That's
there's
huge.
Three guys. There's three
Is
guys.
this the Baltimore inactives?
Yeah. So
Yes.
Hamilton, so Malik
Brandon
Cunningham,
Stevens.
Kyle Hamilton, Brandon Stevens, Demario Williams, Salah Amuve Lalulu, but also the big one. Also, it's another one. Not just Brandon Stevens, Kyle Hamilton, but another very good guard, and Zietler's not playing either.
So
wow. So okay.
Yeah. So now last week we saw the 49ers get after Lamar Jackson and make him uncomfortable early. The Ravens answered, responded. That was just a heck of a game. Ravens definitely, their defense won in that game. The defense forced turnovers against Purdy. We need to avoid that. Kyle Hamilton was a big reason they were able to do that, because the 49ers had Brock Purdy had no accountability of Hamilton. That factor's gone. Stevens is in there. Now, we cannot sleep on this defense because their linebackers, Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith are just fantastic sideline to sideline, and it makes me sick that their linebacker squad is so good because ours is nowhere near that good. But they can fly sideline to sideline, so it's going to be something they're going to have to be ready for. Our tackles need to be prepared because they do send blitzes. Mike McDonald's not a dumb guy; he's pretty smart. McDaniel, I think, has the upper hand on McDonald because I think McDonald tips his hand. Although he did give Kyle Shanahan some fits last week. But it's great. This is something that no one's really paying attention to. It's hard for a team to go from a complete game like that to playing a complete game again. But Miami came off like an emotional last-minute win. That's also hard to follow up. So which team matches that energy from last week?
That is a great point. That's so true. And if not Miami, but if Baltimore would have lost at San Francisco, that could give them an edge. But because they beat San Francisco the way they did, that could help Miami in the end. But Miami did come off that game-winning field goal, which you go hype. But what I love about Miami's response, they didn't treat it like they won the Super Bowl. That's right. A lot of teams make that mistake. They go and they go crazy. They're you think of the Miami Miracle.
We Adam Gase, Joe Philbin. They all let them think that that's their Super Bowl. Then they come out and lay an egg the next week.
Exactly.
You can't do it, and we did it last year a couple times. So you can't do it this year.
And they didn't do it last game. They said that was a great win. Hey, they cheered on Jason Sanders, who got that monkey off his back. By monkey, I mean Finstanza. He would kick the game-winning field goal, 57, 54, 52, and won the game.
Fantastic to see.
That's celebrating a player, but they said, okay, let's be happy. Let's move on. Next game up.
And that's what good teams do. And I want to see real quick. The point I want to make real quick is that Mike McDaniel, who's worked with Kyle Shanahan and been around the Shanahan system since he was a teenager, literally in Denver, he's been around that for a very long time. So Mike McDaniel knows that system very well. So he got to watch his good friend and what happened in that offense and watch what happened there. So he gets to watch that film and say, okay, our offense is different, but comes off the same system. So this is how Baltimore attacked it. This is how we can adjust to that. And now McDaniel now has film right at the week before. So it's nice to have fresh film and say, okay, how did they attack the 49ers? That's how they're going to attack us. Let's use that. And how they attacked us last year, let's use that. And now they have a chance to really be prepared this week. There's really no excuse for us to lose this game. I know Waddle not being in hurts, but we still have Claypool, who's still a talented guy, and he's a physical guy. Wilson has been getting open. Tua just has to see him a little earlier and relax behind the offensive line because he's rushing his footwork. And we just have to run the football and get the ball to who's open.
We have a fully healthy defense.
The Dolphins, exactly. And the Dolphins, again, like I said, and they said it on Dolphins Thursday.
I agree.
Steve was alluding to that. There is no excuse to lose this game. And Ace is saying here in the comments, and I agree. Baltimore and Miami, both teams are beat up. Both teams. It's going to be a fight, and I hope it is. I hope Scotty says dogfight incoming, and I hope it is, and I think it will be. And Miami has to be physical. And I gave my score prediction yesterday, and we'll touch on it at the end. And again, I still feel it's a little too high. I think this could be a low-scoring dogfight win. This could be another Jason Sanders, Justin Tucker type of game. It could be that way.
I'd like to point out I called that last week for Evan. 27-24, I called that.
You're pretty good. But by the way, can I just
I'll be right back. You guys keep going.
Yeah, but for me, I want to ask you, Brett. Because I was going to ask, overall, right now, of all the players that are out, don't be a homer, because you're never a homer. Who is the most critical guy out of the lineup?
Out of the lineup for both teams?
On both teams. Right now, who's the one player who would have the greatest impact if he was playing, who's not playing today?
Oh, easily Kyle Hamilton. Because, look, I love Mostert, and I said it when we signed him. It was a good signing because I wasn't a fan of the other. I forgot his name. Quick. He's not been on the team. Yeah, Edmonds. So I wasn't a huge fan of that signing. But I was a huge fan of the Mostert signing because, hey, we got a guy that fits the system. He's a professional. He's going to do his job. I was happy. But we have the young rookie Achane. We have Brooks, who has shown he can be used here and there and physical and would not give up on yards. We know Wilson fits the system as an inside zone. We should be fine running the ball. We are a pass to set up the run kind of team. I said it to you guys before. A lot of teams are doing high safeties because they're scared to death of Tyreek's speed. So they're taking that away. So what they're doing is the big plays aren't there. Tua just has to adjust to find underneath things. Well, if Tua builds off of those, the drive before the half, which was beautiful, and the drive before they ran the clock out, if you remember before they ran the clock out, Tua made some crucial throws, crucial play designs that all worked out perfect. It's great. And with Hamilton out and a starting corner out, the Ravens are going to go to keep you from beating them deep. They're going to give you underneath stuff. And so Miami just got to take advantage of that and dink and dunk their way. And like you said, a healthy defense for us, our key player on defense is Holland. Our defense plays better with Holland and Ramsey on the field.
Yeah.
It's just a better defense with Holland on the field because I like Brandon Jones, but Holland's a better tackler. He's better coverage. He's better getting people lined up. And Elliott's pretty good, but Holland is our best safety. And
by a mile.
So them losing Hamilton hurts us more than us losing Holland, in my opinion, because of how they use Hamilton. And to me, the biggest loss for either team is Hamilton.
Yeah.
And that's going to affect their defense because they use the hell out of him the way the Chargers used Derwin James. So it's going to be a problem for them. You can't just make that up. They still have a good front seven. Their defensive line is still stout. And I expect Eichenberg to be looking up at the lights pretty much all game. But Tua's just got to adapt, and there's going to be open receivers. Quick game is going to be the crucial key here.
Yeah. So, Bobby, I was actually asking, I don't know if did you hear the question I asked him?
No, I did not, sir.
So I asked him, well, you can give your same opinion. Of all the people that I mentioned who were out, who would be the most critical player out for overall between the both teams? He said Kyle Hamilton. I completely agree. What are your thoughts?
No, I think that's going to be huge. I think Kyle Hamilton, it's going to be huge. I agree. I have to agree on that. I will say, though, Poppy Video, I never noticed that, but you're absolutely right. That's the first thing I saw when I sat back down. He says we have what did he say here about FinStanza? From left to right, we have an unshaven dude, a full bearded dude, and then we have a ZZ Top bearded dude.
Love By the way, you do realize that I could bring Brett to Temple tomorrow. He'd fit right in, right? He'd fit in. I have to just get him the big hat, and he'd fit right in.
The funny thing is,
join the tribe.
My grandmother's side, my mother's side, my grandmother's family is Jewish from Russia area, right? But they came here to escape things. And
by the way, if he went to Bethlehem, or he went into. By the way, if he goes to Baltimore. By the way, if he was in Baltimore today and he was going through one of the suburb communities, because the Jewish population of Baltimore is the second largest in the United States, and he was walking the street, they'd pull him into Temple.
You're late. You're late.
Come. No, we need you for a minion. We need you to pray. Come on, buddy.
That's awesome.
Well, I must say, but honestly, I'll agree with this. I don't know if you guys quick take. Holland over Mostert all day today for today's game. Like I need a healthy Holland in this game against Lamar Jackson. Then I need a healthy Mostert.
So because of who we're facing the next 2 weeks, because of the quarterback we're facing, I would need a healthy Holland and a healthy Ramsey.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah.
And a healthy Chubb. So like if I have those three on defense, you can make a run game work. And Bobby, what I told him, you probably didn't hear that. I said this before the show, they're so scared of Tyreek's speed and Waddle's speed that they are dropping safeties back deep and basically saying, keep everything in front of us. Do not let them beat us deep. And the defense has done a good job. Dallas did a good job of that. The Washington did a terrible job of it, but the Jets did. You'll see a couple big plays a game, and that's it. That's fine. Just that's why I said the Tom Brady thing. And that's why I think, like, offensively running the ball, and I've been saying all year, we are a team that throws to set up the run. The same thing as everybody compares them to the greatest show on turf. That's what they did. They threw to set up the run. The West Coast offense has done it for years. Andy Reid has done that for decades, and he'll close out a game with a run. And the Shanahan offense is a variation of the West Coast offense where it's got its started, its roots, and branched into what it's become. And it's so adaptable. So, like, this offense throws to set up the run. And that's what Miami needs to do. Just don't fall into the trap that the 49ers had, where they just decided to throw the ball way too much and put the ball in Purdy's hand too much, and that's when the interceptions happen. Although I don't expect Tua to make those same mistakes, but pressure did affect a couple of those throws where they were tipped. So something that we need to keep an eye on, but having Austin Jackson back and having two tackles starting back will help.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and run these numbers very quick. As we talked about earlier, the last, the Dolphins against Lamar Jackson are 2-1 against Lamar Jackson, favored against the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is favored by 3 points. The over/under is 47.5. Are you guys taking the under or the over?
What is it? 47.5?
Yeah.
Over.
That's tough.
Tyreek's going to go for it. I think it's going to be.
I'll say over, but I'm not like taking that by very much. I mean,
it might be 50.
Yeah, we're talking like 24-20 kind of
27, 24, 24, 23. It's one of those.
Yeah. But I can see. I don't think anybody would be wrong or would be in the wrong to say the under. I mean, I
might take the under because I can see a game like it was last week against Dallas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised. So let's talk about the numbers very quick. Passing, Tua this season right now, 4,214 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 INTs, compared to Lamar Jackson is 3,357 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 INTs. Raheem Mostert, who is out today, 1,012 yards, 18 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson is their leading rusher, 142 carries, 786 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's why when somebody looks at Tua and Lamar Jackson's stats compared side by side, how can Lamar be above Tua in the MVP thing? It's the rushing. You put that all together. I mean, he's just overall, he's their offense. And then receiving, Tyreek Hill, 1,641 yards, 12 touchdowns. Zay Flowers is their leading wideout for Baltimore. 74 receptions, 752 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Can I make a prediction right now? I have this weird feeling that Tua's first throw, because there's no Hamilton and there's no Stevens, is going to be Tyreek deep. It's going to be one of those where they're going to try to set the tone and get points early. I just have this feeling they're going to bomb the ball on the first play. I just have this feeling they're going to try to test that secondary really quickly. I don't know about you. I just have this weird feeling. Right on the first play.
I can see it.
What do you think, Bobby? Can you see that?
No, they're going to play it safe.
You really think so?
Yeah, I think they're going to try to see. They're going to see. Yeah. You got to remember, this is Baltimore. This ain't some low tier team that they're going to, oh, let's just get to. They're going to try to test the defense. No, they're going to try to see what they have, and they're going to try to see what's working, whether it's the running game, passing game, whatever, because both teams are missing guys on both sides.
Do you remember the clip of
I hope so.
saying this is a one play touchdown? This is a one play drive. The Waddle, is I think go man coverage, and as soon as McDaniel saw it, he's like, here it is. Baltimore will run some man coverage, and if they do, Tyreek gets matched up man to man.
Well, that'll be huge for Miami if it does happen. We all hope it will. It'll be huge because then Miami will have that adrenaline to go ahead and obviously cause a big play on defense.
Well, I'm looking.
Steve agrees with me. Steve agrees.
And that is breaking news, Steve. I need you on postgame to explain yourself.
No, but I have a feeling that only because Hamilton is out and Stevens is out, that because McDaniel's probably seeing that and saying he's probably salivating at Tyreek basically going big today, he's going to test their secondary very, very quickly. I don't know why. I just have this weird feeling about it. So,
well, Michael Myers, you have the game. You have Miami over Baltimore 56-52.
Jesus. I think I might have a heart attack. I think I have a heart attack. You?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I think
I would be pretty pissed off that the defense couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Offense.
And you can't see the Ravens giving up 56 points.
And that's no disrespect to Lamar Jackson, but I mean, like, that's not their offense, No. I mean, they have blown us out. Which
again, you look at the San Francisco game, 33-19. And
that was just turnovers. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Defense was the reason why they were in the red zone so much in that. So I'm really hoping that our defense can keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. Our defense has been getting better against rushing quarterbacks. Will Levis after that game scares me. However, they did a great job against Dak, and let's not pretend Dak is some like slouch running the ball. He's a fantastic runner. He had some moments, but I think overall they did a good job of keeping Dak contained. If they could do that against Baltimore, I just can't get off to a slow start like they did against Dallas. That was, I know Elliott came up with a crucial tackle, but you can't live that way. Like that's not sustainable. That's like
So let's
luck
do
and
this.
defense.
I have an
We
X
will.
factor game. I have a question.
Let's go around the league, guys. We're about 50 minutes into pregame. I want to again thank everyone who's watching right now. You're watching the Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Again, the Dolphins 11-4 versus the Baltimore Ravens 12-3. Tua is 2-0 in his career against Baltimore. Lamar 1-2 against Miami. Will that trend continue? It could. But before we go into keys to victory and final predictions, let's go around the league. Obviously, Dallas beat the Detroit Lions last night. Cleveland beat handedly the New York Jets.
Regarding Dallas, by the way,
Yeah.
it's already been announced by Adam Schefter that Brad Allen's crew will be downgraded out of the 2024 NFL playoffs.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So
good.
They're publicly held accountable. That's the biggest thing. Not this, well, we grade them after the season. No. They need to be held
They've been
accountable.
downgraded out.
And Jared Goff said that was not a fix. That was a mistake by the refs.
It was just disgusting, dude. You don't do that. That's a referee should not impact the outcome of a game. You know, and that's why I believe the NFL needs to have it the official calls, penalties, or whatever you want to call it, reviewed. It's got to be like that. Coach has 2 challenges for the referee calls. If they don't believe the penalty should have been called or it was a missed call, before that play is run, you throw a green flag. It goes to New York. New York reviews. Penalty rescinded. Game continues. Referees should not have that type of impact and be not held accountable live during a game. Because it's ridiculous when the guy on TV who used to be a referee and he's from New York or he's in New York watching, he goes, "There's no way that was not a late hit on the quarterback, blah, blah, blah." And then they go, "Late hit on the quarterback after review." And, he goes, "That's wrong. That's ridiculous. That's BS. They need to change that. They need to fix it." The refs beat the Lions. Absolutely. So let's go ahead. We'll go. Let's talk on it here. FinStanza, I'll start with you. Can the New England Patriots, who travel to the Buffalo Bills, 4-11 against the 9-6 Buffalo Bills, can New England upset the Bills today?
The Bills have pressure on themselves. They know that they need to still solidify themselves a playoff spot. They're not guaranteed that. They're trying to catch Miami. Bill Belichick, he didn't seem so excited last week when they won the game, but they still somehow pulled off a victory. They're playing to spoiler. It's a divisional game. Something about New England, I have a feeling today. Von Miller, by the way, is out. And a crazy stat, Stephon Diggs has more tackles this season than Von Miller, FYI. That's what a disaster.
Miller hasn't played much this season either.
No, but he played 10 games. He played the last 10 games.
Well, yeah,
he's had 2 tackles in the last 10 games, Von Miller.
Yeah, then he's gone through the whole suspension thing or investigation.
But I do believe the New England Patriots will find a way to go into Orchard Park and stifle the Buffalo Bills and their party. I cannot see. I have a feeling this is my upset of the week.
I'm with you. I think New England wins. I think it's an AFC East divisional game. Buffalo obviously trying to win. Buffalo's on a high right now, but I think New England comes in there and pulls off the upset. Brett, are you with us?
Yeah. I've been saying New England's going to win this game and upset Buffalo. I think Buffalo's too streaky. It's funny we mentioned the whole Super Bowl and losing next week. The Bills did that to us this year, and I think they're going to get swept by New England. I think they're just too much of a mess, although I like Joe Brady.
I want to read this very quick. The Adam Schefter tweet. A missed late call on Saturday night's game between Detroit and Dallas led to an even higher profile error in what has escalated into the latest and most egregious example that the NFL has an officiating issue. The latest controversy surrounding referee Brad Allen and his officiating crew, involving an overturned 2-point conversion by the Lions, could potentially have been avoided if not for another missed call on the Cowboys' previous possession. The Cowboys owned a 17-13 lead when they intercepted Jared Goff at the Lions' 29-yard line with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Tony Pollard's 7-yard run on the ensuing play was called back after Dallas's tight end Peyton Hendershot shot was called for tripping, setting the Cowboys up with a 1st and 25 on the Lions' 44-yard line. Video of that initial first down play reviewed by ESPN showed that Lions defensive end Aiden Hutchinson, not Hindershoot, should have been the one flagged for attempting to trip Pollard. That crew, it's Brad Allen's crew, because it's not the first. I think it's the 3rd game, right, FinStanza?
Yeah, they cost there's the Marquez Valdez-Scantling pass interference against Green Bay that would have given the Chiefs a very good chance of winning that football game.
And it's not just his crew. It's the entire league. It's been plagued with horrible officiating that's impacted games, and it's wrong and it's disgusting. And I hope the NFL figures something out this offseason for next year that it's not highly impacted. Let's move on. Chicago welcomes the Atlanta Falcons. The Bears are currently this season 6-9. They are 4-3 at home against the 7-8 Atlanta Falcons, who are 2-5 on the road. I believe Chicago pulls this off. Brett, how do you feel?
Man, this game kills me, or any Atlanta game kills me. I always get their games wrong. I don't know what it is. I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop picking Atlanta because they've been losing. Oh, Atlanta starts winning. All right, whatever. But I think Atlanta wins this game. The division is like right there. I don't know. Are they eliminated?
Who?
Atlanta. They're not eliminated.
No, they're not eliminated.
No. Nobody on that side is eliminated.
Right. Okay. I didn't think so. So their playoffs are right there at 7-8, and you got the Saints at 7-8, and the Buccaneers at 8-7. So I mean, it's there. I mean, and they can get the playoffs. So I think they have more to play for than Chicago. Chicago's been playing better as of late, but I think Atlanta wins this game.
Evan?
Chicago's playing. They know what they're doing with their draft pick. They know what's happening with Carolina. They could just still win, and it won't affect them much. I think Justin Fields is trying to prove something because he wants to say that he is still he could be still a good quarterback in this league, and Chicago is going to pick up the victory in Soldier Field.
All right. So next game here, you
decide?
I already answered. You were paying attention to your phone. You should have been paying attention to the show. Very unprofessional. I have Chicago.
I'll buy a Jason Sanders jersey to apologize.
Yeah, sure. All right. So the Las Vegas Raiders travel to Indianapolis. The Colts are trying to hold on to the 7th seed. They're 8-7. They go against the 7-8 Raiders. Raiders, man, what a season that they are having after letting go of Josh McDaniels. They are 2-5 on the road, and the Colts are 3-4. Evan, I'm going to start with you because that will get your attention. Can the Raiders take a win? Can the Raiders pull out a win in Indianapolis?
I think the Raiders are not going to lose the next 2 games. Antonio Pierce has this team playing with some sort of fire that a lot of coaches who take over, the guy wants the job. He's trying to prove something, and I think the Vegas Raiders go into Indianapolis to pick up the victory. And shockingly enough, if the Chiefs, I don't know if this is the case, if the Chiefs were to lose out and the Raiders were to win out, do the Chiefs, do they put the tiebreaker against the Chiefs? Well, they'll both be 9-8. Is that possible?
I don't know.
So the Raiders have still something to play for. The Raiders could still make the playoffs. Like, they could still actually make the playoffs the way everything might fall. So I would say the Vegas Raiders have a lot to play for as well. And just they're playing with such fire, and they're going to play with such momentum after being the Chiefs. They're going to win the football game in Indianapolis today.
Yeah, so if the Chiefs, what is this here? Let me see.
I don't know who wins the tiebreaker.
Now that you say that, let's see. Yeah, if they both finish 9-8, Vegas takes the tie.
I was going to say, yeah, I thought it was Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen something before with one of the playoff scenarios that Vegas could win the playoffs and Kansas City could be completely knocked out.
Yep.
All right. So going for, okay, go ahead, Brett. I'm sorry. Vegas versus.
This is a tough game because both teams, honestly, let's give the Colts a ton of credit for their season period. The worst they're going to do is 8-9, and the best they could do is what 10-7. So that's really good for a team that lost their started quarterback and had to go with the backup and had a lot of like issues of trading a running back. Then they bring him back. So it's, I mean, I think the Raiders have more to play for. So I'm going the Raiders on this one.
I'm with you guys. I think the Raiders pull it out. Yeah.
I think they're going to upset them. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think the Raiders win.
And I'm with you too. Credit to Indianapolis, what they've been able to do this season. They lost their rookie quarterback. You thought they would just call it in. No, they've been putting the fight in. But what Alec Pierce and company has done with that team after firing their head coach, credit to them. And they still have a shot to win the division. So they're playing for something. You go ahead. We go on to.
Can I just quickly? Can I just fix this comment? No, Brady. Something it fell through. He's no longer part of the Raiders ownership group.
Really? I didn't know that.
I think if something fell through, I don't think he ever joined them officially.
Okay. So Carolina travels to Jacksonville. Jacksonville, again, trying to hold on. They're the 4th seed. They're trying to hold on to their division, at least their division title, which is crazy because where they were now to where they stand, where they sit currently, they're the 4th seed, 8-7 on the season against the 2-13 Carolina Panthers. Panthers are 0-8 on the road. They will go 0-9. Jacksonville will win this game. Brett, am I wrong?
Oh, no. If the Jaguars lose this game, there's going to be a lot of talk going on between Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson.
Exactly, Scotty. No Trevor Lawrence, my friends. Carolina's going in and beating the Jaguars today.
Wow, there you go. Okay.
If Trevor Lawrence I don't believe Trevor Lawrence is playing.
I actually didn't see if he's going or not.
I'll double check, but last I checked, he was out. Like on Friday, they announced he was out.
Let's figure that out because.
Well, I would still say I think Jacksonville.
I saw he was going to play
because Jacksonville's a talented team.
He's out. He's out. I thought I saw he was playing.
Who's playing? Is it Rourke or is it what's his name? It's Behead. It's Bethel. CG Behead Bethel.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I'm still going to win. I'm still going.
Panthers are going to go.
Let's go Jaguars because Doug Peterson has a good record with backup quarterbacks. Won a Super Bowl with it.
We heard you, FinStanza. All right, here we go. You got the 5-10 Tennessee Titans traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. Texans still fighting for a playoff spot, obviously. They might win the division if Jacksonville loses today, or they might take that lead. But they're 8-7. They're 5-3 at home against the 1-6 road team Tennessee Titans. FinStanza, Houston pulls it out.
They have C.J. Stroud back. C.J. Stroud is back. Houston Texans at home. D'Amico Ryans. They win that game.
All right. Brett?
I'm going C.J. Same thing. Houston. C.J. Stroud back. C.J. Stroud's going to go off today.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm with you guys. I got Houston winning against Tennessee. You move on. We got the Los Angeles Rams against the New York Giants. They have benched Tommy DeVito. He's benched now. He's sitting on the sideline chewing a pizza. I think the Rams win.
The Rams. Let me just say something about the Rams. The Rams in the playoffs scare the 49ers to death. Puka Nacua is what a talent. Cooper Kupp is just there. Kerryon Williams. Okay, I just want to tell you something about Kerryon Williams. He is my favorite running back to watch right now. I don't know about Brett, but that guy is not afraid to go to the side, go up the middle. The guy's a great running back. Go look at his stats this year. The guy's been great. And I think Matthew Stafford is ready. Sean McVay is a smart coach. He's able to develop and balance the attack. They still have a good defense with Aaron Donald. And I do think the Rams are going to pick up the victory, and they're going to be a scary team in the playoffs in the NFC.
I'll go with the experienced team. I'll go with the Rams. I'll go with the experienced coach that everybody we all counted out. That
the Giants are out anyway.
On the Rams. So
the Giants are done for the year anyway.
Which they're dangerous teams, but I think the Rams are going to win this game.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Rams will win this one. My goodness, Eagles. They're skidding, but they get lucky. They got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Philadelphia today. Cardinals are 1-7 on the road. Eagles are 6-1 at home. Brett, is this another Arizona Cardinals upset brewing?
I don't see it. I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, former defensive coordinator, probably like to get the upset there in Philly. I'd like it because I'm in a championship, one of my leagues, and Jalen Hurts has Jalen Hurts as quarterback. So I'd like to see Jalen Hurts have like a not so good game, but just for that reason. But I don't see the Eagles losing this game. They're kind of in desperation mode at this point. If the Eagles lose, I think it's definitely wheels falling off for this season, not for totality, but it's just definitely something they're going to have to clean up in the offseason. They still have to anyway, between defense coordinator, offensive coordinator, and all. But overall, talent-wise, the Eagles still have a good team, and I think the Eagles will bounce back and win this game. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game, though. This is going to be an ugly game.
Evan?
I don't like the Eagles at all, but you just tell by the pencil in my head that I'm choosing Matt Patricia and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Nice
like
time.
honestly, who's going to be gifted the NFC East more? The Eagles or the Cowboys? Because neither one is proving that they deserve to win that division just yet. Heading to the last game of the year.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Eagles as well. Then you got maybe the battle for the NFC South. The New Orleans Saints, who are 7-8, against the 8-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers are 4-3 at home, and the Saints are 3-5 on the road. I think the Saints can pull this off. FinStanza, what do you think?
Baker Mayfield is playing for like a champ right now, better than anyone ever expected. Mike Evans, that defense is really smart, and they're just they know they can solidify. I think they probably clinch today if they win. I think they might clinch the NFC South if they win today. But no, the Bucs are playing with a lot of fire. They didn't expect to do this. Maybe they thought they were going to be a 5-6 win team this year. So I think they take care of the Saints today.
All right, Brett, what do you think?
I agree. I think the Saints. I think the Buccaneers take care of business today. They're good. They're rolling. They're like Michael just said here. They're on fire. And like I said last week, they're fired up because of Baker Mayfield getting that extension, or talk about coming back next year. And I think they're fired up. I think Baker Mayfield feels like this is his team right now, and they still have a talented offense. And I think they're going to win this game. I think they'll win it handedly, honestly.
Wow. Okay, cool. All right. Let me just say, CBS 121, thank you for watching. He says his prediction for today is 41-10 Baltimore. We see Mike White by the fourth quarter. All right. Okay. So San Francisco travels to Washington to face the Commanders. Commanders 1-5 at home against the 6-2 on the road Niners. Niners, of course, have the second best offense, 11th best defense. Commanders 19th best offense, 32nd ranked defense. I'm saying it just to say it. Commanders pull off the upset. I'm just doing it.
He's saying that because he loves Jacoby Brissett, thinks he should be the starter for the Dolphins, and he's starting for the Commanders today.
I don't love Jacoby Brissett at all. I don't love him against his defense. I don't love I don't love what I saw in San Fran in person. They are so poorly, or Washington in person. They are so poorly run. I think San Fran is going to bounce back, pissed off, and run all over them.
I think McCaffrey is going to go bananas today.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure after a bad loss,
Sam Howell starting
is really good against.
It's not Jacoby, it's Sam Howell who's.
They're going to come out angry.
I still like San Fran's defense against Sam Howell because
I see upset.
Although
no, they said Brissett starting. No, they said Brissett.
Don't get me wrong. Howell is ballsy.
No, they said Brissett starting.
He's got a lot of guts, but Sam Howell is not going to be enough.
Research, Evan. Research.
I did. They said Brissett starting.
Hey, I'm just saying, whoever runs the Washington defense now, probably Rivera, is doing a terrible job. So I don't think.
Oh, he's inactive. Shit.
49ers are going to run all over him.
Shame on you. And next time,
last night they said he was starting.
Shh. You're speaking over Brett. Research before you start saying that. All right, moving on. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Seattle to face the Seahawks. 8-7 versus 8-7. 3-3 on the road for Pittsburgh. 5-2 for Seattle. All jokes aside, Seattle wins this. Evan, right or wrong?
Yeah, it's home game. They're also fighting for a playoff spot. The Seahawks, this is playoff time for them. They'll pick up the victory with Geno Smith.
And they're a good team. Tough environment.
Yeah.
Seattle wins this game. They need to
All
win.
right. Huge game. After, I mean, all of them are huge, but Cincinnati traveling to Kansas City, 9-6 Kansas City Chiefs. Evan just brought that up earlier, that the Raiders still have a shot to win the AFC West. But they have to lose to the Bengals. Brett, do they?
No, I think the Chiefs win. It's not going to be as pretty as we're used to. It's not going to be lopsided, but Kansas City's defense is playing well. The Bengals offense kind of came back to earth against the Steelers. Even though they got extra rest, I think the Chiefs will win this game. Andy Reid will have his team ready to win. I think the Chiefs win out, to be honest, but not their prettiest season, but they'll win. I can't see them losing and not winning the division.
Evan?
The Bengals seem to do something. I don't care who the quarterback is in Kansas City. Every time they go there, they've been successful the last few times. Upset Bengals over Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are a mess.
Ooh, all right. Damn. All right. We got Chargers versus Denver. Russell Wilson benched and likely out of Denver. My goodness. Chargers 5-10, 7-8 Denver. 3-4 on the road are the Chargers. 4-4 at home. Denver. I have the upset. I guess you call it an upset. I have the Chargers winning this game. Evan, am I wrong?
East in the hockey stick.
Oh, what the hell?
East in the hockey stick and Giff, their coach. They're going to play with trying to prove something for next year. We'll see what happens. But no, I think the Jared Stidham experiment is going to go poof very quickly, and that the Broncos are going to lose to the Chargers.
Rob Casey, if you're watching this, good friend of mine from the Air Force, I'm going with your Chargers today, buddy. I'm going to take the Chargers. Their defense is playing very spirited. They took it to the Bills. Bills struggled in that game, and they made that offense look very one-dimensional. And Denver kind of got exposed against New England, and I think the Chargers are going to expose this team. Chargers are going to win this game, and their defense is going to have like 3 turnovers.
There you go. Do you guys think Russell Wilson comes back in this game? Do you think he comes in at all?
Yeah, I don't
Not
think
a chance.
so.
Right now he's basically carrying Sierra's bags to her New Year's Eve concert. That's what he's doing right now.
Oh, that's so great. All right, now we got a big one.
He's not even the breadwinner in that family, and he makes $250 million.
Goodness gracious. We got a huge game, and this is for our brother Stager. The Green Bay Packers traveling to Minnesota. They're 7-8. Vikings are 7-8. 3-5 on the road for Green Bay. 2-5 at home, Minnesota. I have the Packers winning this game. Evan, what do you got?
I don't think if you saw the look on Justin Jefferson's face last week at the end of that game, on that, I think the Vikings do not like how that game ended last week with the Lions. I just have a feeling they're still eating a little bit of frustration, and I think that Brian Flores will go after his so-called favorite quarterback from that draft and makes Jordan Love's life a little miserable, and the Vikings pick up the victory.
All right. Brett De Niro, what do you think?
This is going to be interesting.
He looks like Robert De Niro.
Man, it's tough. It's going to be a tough game to pick. Both teams are on the brink here. They're similar situations, kind of, but they're definitely teams that are kind of starting over, if you will. Packers looked pretty good last week, though. However, you know what? I'm going to go with the Vikings just because Flores has had success against this style offense in the past, and he's had success recently. And he's still pissed off he didn't get to draft Jordan Love. So I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think their defense might be a little much. Sorry, Dave. I'll go with the Vikings on this one.
All right, there you go. So that's our Around the League segment. We come back to Dolphins versus Baltimore. FinStanza, I'm going to start with you, sir. Your 3 keys to secure a Miami Dolphins victory.
Contain Lamar Jackson. That's an easy one. Like, keep him inside the pocket. Do not let him get outside and make plays, because our team tackling is just like, I think David Long has to have a game today, and so does Van Ginkel. Like, they both have to get after Lamar Jackson. Those two are very key for me with their speed. Tua has to continue to, but they have to have a balanced attack. Very simple put. Let's balance attack. And I think we just need to. We have to win the turnover battle. I do think that. I think that force Lamar Jackson to make throws, and with your healthy secondary, get some turnovers. I want to see X with a turnover. I want to see a fumble while Lamar's running. I want us to get some turnovers. I want to see this defense equate to the offense today. I want to see a championship defense today. So that's really my 3 keys: contain Lamar Jackson, balanced attack, and Dolphins have to win the turnover battle. It's really simple. Do those 3 things, and you have a victory.
Brett, same question. Your 3 keys to secure a Miami Dolphins victory.
Offensively, take what the defense is giving you. Take what the defense is giving you. Take big plays when they're there. Don't force anything. Get the ball out. I know everybody's going to say O-line, but you take what the defense is giving you. The O-line won't be as much of a factor. Secondly, get physical. Establish a run early. Establish it with Achane, who can be physical, but establish it with Wilson. Establish a physicality all around in the run game. And that means Brooks, Smythe, Austin Jackson is a good run blocker, so it's nice to have him back. So use Cotton and Jones. Just please stop pulling Cotton and Armstead, because they are god-awfully slow right now. But keep using that physicality. Let's keep with that. And then finally, the third key is going to be the defense needs to be opportunistic. The Ravens had some issues when they would overload. So get after Lamar Jackson, make him uncomfortable early, and force him into mistakes. Limit their playmakers. Keep the ball away from Zay Flowers, because he is a problem. He is their biggest weapon. And it plays physical up front, control the line of scrimmage early. So limit their ability to run the football and their playmakers.
So not much different from you guys at all. For me, stop the Ravens running game. The Ravens are number 1 team in running the ball. Miami being the 5th best defense in the NFL. It's stopping the run. They have to show it up today and prove it against Baltimore. You got to contain Lamar Jackson, as Evan has said. Of course, that won't be easy. Miami's last 3 games against Jackson. In the air, he had 880 yards and 9 touchdowns with 1 INT. But on the ground, he had 164 yards rushing with 1 touchdown. Last year, in that big game where Miami came all the way back and won, Lamar's numbers were 318 yards in the air with 3 TDs and rushed for 119 yards with a touchdown. He averages about 293 yards a game with 3 touchdowns against Miami. Bradley Chubb, salt and pepper company, they got to get to Jackson. They got to hit him, rattle him, contain him, frustrate him, and Miami's defense should have itself a day. It has to be a dominating game for the defense. Mm-hmm. And a balanced attack for the offense, but run, and run the ball. Even though I know Mozart's out, and that was before I knew that last night, before I said run the ball, but it still continues. Achane, Jeff Wilson and company, run the ball. The Ravens are 12th in the NFL at stopping the run. Miami has the fifth best rushing attack in football. They have to out-physical Baltimore, and it starts with the run game. Run the ball, kill the clock, score, and win the game. Those are my 3 keys to victory.
Can I throw something in there real quick?
Yes, sir.
So to your point of run the football, I've been with you. That's why I said physicality. Before Mostert was ruled out, that injury is bothersome, and he couldn't turn the corner. And I had kept saying that even with Mostert starting, we still need more Jeff Wilson and more Chris Brooks this week. We still need Achane. Caught a lot of heat for that, but we need to have the physicality on the field. Achane does offer physicality, but we need to get physical early. And that's to your point. Yeah, Mostert might be out, but you can still run the football. Use the guys you have. You have guys that can do it. Run it. But you cannot run the ball unless your passing attack is on. So don't forget your identity either.
Absolutely. And I will remind everyone who's tuning in right now, you're watching the Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Fins Talk Sports Network, sponsored by, of course, Kingswear and the greatest show on surf.shop. Don't forget to tune in tonight for the Miami Dolphins post-game show. Brett Lagasse, FinStanza, myself, and Courtney of Dolphins Thirsty and Dolphins Diaries will be on to talk Miami Dolphins post-game. Hopefully Dolphins we're celebrating a Dolphins win over Baltimore.
When, not if.
Anyway, FinStanza, you've spoiled your prediction. No, but we knew where you were going. What is your final score prediction, sir?
It's going to be tough. Dolphins 27, Ravens 23.
Wow, you and I are right there. I'm sorry. Let's see. Brett, what was yours again? I'm sorry.
I didn't have one yet, but I
come on.
Said low score like that one. I'm going to go 23-20 Dolphins.
There you go. I like it. All right.
Although talking to somebody I trust in evaluations, he doesn't think that Baltimore can run with us, even with Hamilton, and that Tyreek should go off today. So I trust his evaluations better than mine.
Scotty did have it. I do have Scotty's note earlier. He is 23-22 Miami. Let me go ahead and look at the comments here as we go on. Aladino has it 30-24. New Attitude has it 27-24.
Scotty's got 23-22. I like that.
That makes me nervous. That makes me too nervous.
Well, I said, I mean, like, I could see another low-scoring game again. Javon Holland is playing. Yep.
Dad Dean, 42-21.
And earlier in the show,
Dad
I
Dean.
did say we need Holland in this game. We need Holland for the rest of the season of playoffs.
I would assume Dad Dean is saying Miami. Yeah, he says, all right. Let's see here. You know what? I know it says it makes you nervous, FinStanza, but again, that's the type of win we're going to need for this game. I would not be disappointed if we win that way because this is going to be that type of fight. What's up, dude? Got a young man in the background there sneaking in like we can't see him. He's playing like it's Mission Impossible. Like, dun, 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 dun. It's like, no, that's
well, actually, I have to behave today for the first time. I can't believe I allowed this to happen. But one of my kids, one of his good friends, his kid, 8 years old, is a big Ravens fan.
What type of jersey was he wearing? I'm sorry.
Which color was it? Black?
Yeah,
that was his black Tua jersey.
That's beautiful, dude. I just saw that.
It's a black Tua jersey I got from.
It's a custom jersey. It's not a.
No, I got it at. Where'd I get it? I got it in Florida at Sawgrass at Lids. I think like 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. I saw it briefly, but I'm like, oh, what's up with that jersey?
That because it was only one there and it fit him perfectly, and I ran with it. It was like
there you go.
That jersey was only $60 US, and it was like it
was. One Tati got me now, a black one, Dan Marino, but I had a Dan Marino nice one when I was a kid too.
I'll take a picture of it for you after.
Yeah, for sure.
One of their good friends he's a Ravens fan. So I have 3 8-year-olds watching the game with me, and one of them is a Ravens fan. So I can't swear, I can't throw things, I can't yell. So I'm actually going to be in a better spirit. I'm going to stay positive the whole game.
Just so you guys know, the last
probably not on the text messages.
You'll be saying for text messaging driving me bananas. All good.
I probably won't be texting as much today because I'll be watching the game on the go. So
why? Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be out getting some stuff ready, so I got trying to get my house.
You're going out during the football game? Shame on you.
It's all right, man. I can watch it, and then when I come back, I can watch it before the post game show. So, listen, just so you guys know, the last since 2016, we'll go from there since Greer took over and the whole change we did. We are 2-3 against Baltimore, but we have won the last 2 on Thursday night, 22-10, and then 42-38. So I don't expect this to be huge scoring this time, but I do expect the Dolphins to win now that Kyle Hamilton and Brandon Stevens are out. That's going to hurt their secondary. And last year they had a depleted secondary, and the company took advantage of it. We got behind early, had to come back. I don't suspect we'll get behind early this time, but we'll see what happens.
I think the Vic Fangio defense is so much different than Josh Boyer's.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll allow a game like that.
Although we did see it against Buffalo, but I don't think we're going to see that.
Oh, we didn't have Jalen Ramsey on the field.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get far behind with Jalen Ramsey and Javon Holland. So
because they don't have to work. I understand Zay Flowers is there, but between X and X should be able to handle Zay Flowers if he falls on his side.
Yeah, but the one thing, David Long has been good with spying athletic quarterbacks. He has been very good at timely of when to shoot his shot to get after him or when to just drop in coverage. He's done a very good job.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are about 30 minutes away, about 32, 33 minutes away from game time. The Miami Dolphins, 11-4, taking on the Baltimore Ravens, 12-3. My final prediction, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. Again, I feel it's a little high, but I think it could happen. I have it 28-23, so I'm 1 point.
I can see it.
I'm a 1 point over Evan there, 27-23. I got 28-23.
You know what that means, though? I believe Jaden Sanders is going to have a role, and you don't.
I think Daniel's going to take advantage of every scoring opportunity.
You think 4 touchdowns. I think 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
I think 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
There you go. Oh, guys, that is the one and only FinStanza Posner. I'm Bobby Fins Talk. That's Brett Lagasse. Catch us tonight with Courtney of Dolphins Diaries for the Miami Dolphins post-game show here only on the Fins Talk Sports Network. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe, most importantly, Fins up. See you guys tonight. Go Dolphins.
Miami Dolphin fan, let me ask you something. You love the Dolphins? Do you think they are the greatest football team? How about the greatest show on surf? If you answered yes to any or all of these questions, then fins up and surfs up to the greatest show on surf.shop today. Celebrate the most explosive offense in the NFL with this awesome exclusive merch. From jackets, hats, shirts, and more, they have it all. Use promo code FINSTALK and save 15% on your order. Show off your fandom. Don't wait. Go to thegreatestshowonsurf.shop today.